Sindri lied. He said that the reason Brock's skin is all blue was due to exposure to too much silver. Well, I call... Why? Because there is evidence to suggest that it was something else. Here, look at this. This comes from the lost pages found on YouTube. It explains that when Brock and Sindri were working on the Leviathan axe, Brock actually died. A bloated black spider whose skin Brock had crushed days before crawls up Brock's leg, reminding him of when a malicious gadfly bit him 3 times during Mjolnir's creation, causing the dwarves to deform the handle, and bites him on the thigh, spreading a chill throughout his body until it reaches his heart, killing him as Sindri catches him. Sindri then drags Brock's now ashen blue body to the realm of Alfheim, wherein he must save Brock's soul from the Lake of Souls. Sindri takes the glove from Brock's hand and goes into the lake, swimming deeper until he comes across his brother's soul, only to be grabbed by an undead being. Sindri is able to free himself and grabs the soul with his gloved hands and heads back to the surface. After hacking up black liquid, he became afflicted with phantom itches until he passed out. Awakening, he puts his bare hands on Brock's chest, feeling a faint pulse, after which he swears never to tell Brock what happened. Brock awoke in his bed, noticing Sindri had gained a slight twitch in his face. Did you hear that? The reason Brock's skin turned all blue was because of the spider's bite. It spread a chill that reached his heart and turned his skin blue. Sindri risked his life by entering the Lake of Souls to retrieve his brother's soul. But why would he keep such a thing a secret? Here is where the theory comes in. But let's first listen to Sindri explaining why Brock is blue to Atreus.
So how come Brock's blue and you're not?
Boy.
Oh, it's fine. Very good question, actually. You see, my brother's not as careful as I am. In fact, he prefers to work with metals using his own bare hands. Ugh. No gloves. Says it's the only way he can hear what it wants to be. Touch enough raw silver and it changes your skin irreparably. That means forever. I wouldn't bring it up to him, though. You know how sensitive he can be.
Despite the fact that exposure to too much silver can actually turn your skin blue in real life, the condition is called argyria, it is clear that this is not actually the case, and Sindri is clearly hiding the truth. The fact that Sindri asks Atreus not to bring this topic up to Brock further supports my point. But why? Why is Sindri keeping the truth a secret? He doesn't want Atreus to know that souls can be brought back to life. Sindri knew Faye and he must have understood that she would have preferred to stay dead. But it also could be that Sindri knew that Faye's body was no more than ashes, and the truth that she could have been brought back to life if they had not burned her body could have hurt Atreus even more. There's also the fact that Sindri wants to keep the truth hidden from Brock, and so not telling Atreus and Kratos the truth would prevent Brock from ever finding out too. But yeah, that's all for today's video. Psych! You thought that was the end? Wrong. We're just getting started. Now that we know that bringing back people to life is possible, let me just throw this idea out there. In Norse myth and in God of War 2018, it is established that some souls end up in the Lake of Souls in Alfheim. Initially, the souls are split into different fragments and are spread throughout the different realms. The Lindworm, a dragon-like creature from Norse myth, then collects the fragments of each soul and drops them off in the lights of Alfheim to make the soul complete once more and ready for resurrection. This of course only happens if the soul does not end up in Helheim or is not taken to Valhalla by a Valkyrie. It also explains why these souls in Hell are different from the ones we see in Midgard. These souls could be incomplete. Anyway, here's a clip of Corey Barlog talking about this.
There was one part in the game that never made it in and got cut early on, but there's this thing called a Lindworm, right, in Norse myth. And it kind of travels from realm to realm, sort of devouring some of these souls, right? Or a fraction or a part of the soul, because the Norse soul is broken up into like 6 pieces. And then would travel to the lake and kind of deposit these souls in there. And then it would go into the light, coming back out, and then sort of go back into somebody else who was born. So it's this fantastic sort of cycle.
So why am I telling you all of this? Well, you see, what if Greek souls end up in the light of Alfheim too? In my previous video where I talk about what Tyr was doing in Greece, I claim that this device that Tyr is seen handing the Greek gods could be some sort of shrine to Skull and Hati, since throughout the game the 2 wolves are always color-coded yellow and blue or golden and silver. And since the Greeks do not have a day and night cycle anymore, despite Kratos releasing the power of hope to the humans because Helios no longer exists to pull the sun, this device here could be handing the Greek gods or Greek humans could be some sort of device that allows Skull and Hati to drive the sun and moon for them like we see in the God of War Ragnarok trailer. But what if that's not the only thing Tyr did for them? Because the Greeks also no longer have a god to rule their underworld, and souls can come and go as they please, potentially causing a lot of trouble for the Greek humans. What if Tyr introduced the Lindworm to the Greeks too, so that the Lindworm may take the souls of the dead from Greece and into the light of Alfheim? After all, Atreus couldn't understand the voices he heard in Alfheim, and maybe that's why he just calls them evil, because the voices he heard were talking in ancient Greek and in anger of their dead gods. Is that why Hel was able to portray the Greek god of the sky to Kratos so accurately? Do you think Athena has anything to do with this? Do you think Tyr knows Athena is at fault here? You tell me. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.
You don't really want war, do you, Kratos? All that blood on your hands? On your son's hands?
What is it you will not tell me?
I can't talk about it, but I just need you to trust me.
We follow your every whim.
But you don't believe in any of it.
And still I follow. Because all that matters is that you are safe.
But that's not all that matters. Who's keeping you safe?
I do not need you to protect me.
You sure about that?
Pretender god! For the old father!
Death can have me when it earns me.
What do you even know of God's word? In your lifetimes, has anyone ever worshipped you? Ever prayed to you? Can you even imagine that kind of love? No! You don't care about anything beyond yourself. Beyond the monster who kills without cause.
Fate only binds you if you let it. Do what is necessary. Not because it is written. We will make our own destiny.